May my words and all our thoughts be in the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Please be seated. Jews do not share things in common with Samaritans. You may have learned at school in your history classes about the Protestant Reformation. As I'm sure you know, it took place in the 16th century and was when the Protestant Church was formed after breaking away from the Roman Catholic Church. You may also have been taught that this wasn't the first time the Church had split, and that the first of the so-called major schisms happened in 1054, when the Church divided along west and east lines into the Orthodox and Catholic churches. In addition to those two major divisions, there have been many minor schisms in the history of the Church. In fact, there's a Wikipedia entry entitled List of Schisms in Christianity, with a list of around 50. It's a romp through 2,000 years of disagreement and division. Just a small sample of those included in the list. And here you need to take a deep breath. The Marcionist schism, the Montanist schism, the Donatist schism, the Arian schism, the Macedonian schism, the Lutheran schism, the Nestorian schism, the schism of the three chapters, the Armenian Apostolic schism, the Maronite schism, the first iconoclastic schism, the second iconoclastic schism. You may now breathe again, I've finished. Well, I've not really, no, I have some more to say. Who would have thought that there were so many ways of dividing a church? In John's Gospel, Jesus meets a woman at a well and asks for a drink of water. She immediately draws attention to their cultural and racial differences. How is it that you, a Jew, ask a drink of me, a woman of Samaria? As if to underline this, the Gospel writer adds in brackets that Jews do not share things in common with Samaritans. Not only are Jesus and the woman on opposite sides of gender, cultural, and racial divides, but her divorced status provides yet another reason why a man in Jesus' position might not want to talk to a woman in her situation. Yet the woman's next question, are you greater than our ancestor Jacob, draws attention to the heritage shared by Jews and Samaritans. Ancestrally, Samaritans, who incidentally still exist to this day, claim descent from Joseph through the tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh, Jacob's grandsons, as well as from the Levites, who are also descended from Jacob. The fact that they meet at Jacob's well is also quite significant, because in Jewish, Samaritan, Christian, and Islamic traditions, that particular well is associated with Jacob, their shared ancestor. It was by a well that Jacob met and fell in love with Rachel, ultimately leading him to father the 12 tribes of Israel. So out of what at first appears to be difference and division, there emerges a picture of shared heritage and connection. Not only that, but we can imagine that an outsider, unversed in the cultural norms of the day, witnessing such a frank, direct and honest exchange, might not appreciate that there was any difference in status between these two people. The Wikipedia entry to which I referred, a list of schisms in Christianity, has a footnote that reads, "This list is incomplete. You can help by expanding it. No thanks." It would be better, perhaps, to think and pray about ways of settling differences and healing divisions. That's not to suggest, however, that it's realistic or even desirable to try to live as one big happy family. Human beings simply aren't wired that way. These days, we are becoming better at valuing and celebrating diversity, recognizing that there are differences and that we do have different outlooks and viewpoints. Even schism, though generally painful, isn't necessarily always a bad thing. We don't have to stay in touch with someone we really disagree with, and sometimes perhaps a parting of ways is the only way to manage such a situation. We can't be sure what caused the original schism between the Jews and the Samaritans, but this story, like so many in Jesus' ministry, is about reaching across divides and seeing people as they really are, rather than what they or we think they represent. Is there anyone or a group of people about whom we have ideas that are based on gender, racial, or cultural stereotypes? Do these ideas help us or lead us to treat this person or group in a specific way? And could we perhaps take time to discover what we have in common rather than what divides us?